June 7th. I'm so grateful you could join me here. Grab a coffee and let's get smarter together. I thought I'd talk today about what exploration compared to exploitation means, as the explore-exploit balance has crystallized as central in so many ways. That's because nature's number one aim seems to be to capitalize on the high potential of random searches, the highest of all types of searches. Yet its creations are faced with time and metabolic restraints that complicate the endeavor. Let's start by looking what happens when two cells merge. A cell that merges with another cell doesn't give up being an intelligent single-cell organism. It still collects data from inside and outside its boundary and interprets it. But now it also communicates its interpretations to the cell that it merged with, and it receives communications from that cell about that cell's interpretations. These interpretations are new, additional information for the cell, information the cell wouldn't have been privy to before the merger. Now, the cell has two perspectives on the same data set instead of just one. A diversity of perspectives leads to a diversity of approaches, what leads to a higher possibility that one approach will provide a suitable solution. And even if not a single one is a direct hit of a jackpot. Since the ideas are bounced back and forth between the two cells, each one communicating their reinterpretation back to the other, they will get there eventually. That, just done by a much larger collective, is what a random search looks like. The more cells participate, the better. But the system I've just described has a problem. In it, each cell can only talk to its immediate neighbor. You want thousands, if not millions of cells to work their way through the available information, including the interpretations and reinterpretations of all the others, and to add their 2 cents again and again. The more cells there are, the more thorough the search gets, but the more time consuming it gets as well. As long as you have a defined set of problems and an unlimited reservoir of time and energy, like a computer, it's great. But when you are a part of a constantly shifting complex system and those are confronted with constantly shifting goals, and you need to devolve energy sources while other organisms recognize you as an energy source for them, a specialization of groups of cells on certain data will help you some. In the end, however, you'll quickly resort to exploitation. Preliminary results on the current situation and targets, spruced up with assumptions based on existing knowledge, must suffice to generate a model of a world and an actor therein, moment to moment. You lose any advantage the merging of all these cells has given you. So, what you really want is a combination of the two. Bring the millions of cells together to do their thing in specialized groups. Then engraft a quick reaction force on top of them that picks a small selection of available data to generate a model of the world and fit an actor inside that's a space to handle the immediate necessary things from it. That's our brain and nervous system. To capitalize on the full potential of the random search going on in the network of the millions of cells, the quick reaction force must pick its data from as many different sources as possible. But the quick reaction force is mostly a mostly exploiting system, made for speed, not foreignness. It needs to be reminded to randomize its search. Nudged by outside triggers, the organism must be trained to seek out. The training happens via rewards, the release of dopamine, so that the organism can connect the reward with the discovery of a trigger. The trigger must be recognizable for the organism, so the trigger will feel like something. Our consciousness is therefore one of nature's workarounds, time and metabolic restraints to randomize otherwise limited searches. The randomization isn't as great as nature would like it yet, so in the next workaround, nature facilitates cooperation and sharing between organisms to offset the danger inherent in exploring for the individual acting alone. In the case of us humans, there's mirroring, the use of the same data in the generation of a model of the other person and ourself. And then there's language. We are made to predominantly explore, but how should we go about it today, as we have forgotten how to do it? For one, by relearning what it means to switch between the diverse patterns of thinking that are available to us, giving us the permission to do so after 2 millennia in which it was vilified. And then it's about understanding that much of our knowledge today is mainly because of the nullification of exploration, the result of interpretation. There are, of course, universal truths like gravity or friction or the destructive power of viruses, which exist whether you believe in them or not. But in its vast majority, our body of knowledge is comprised of engrams. Interpretations of facts people made with a certain intent in mind in the past. Memories. Exploitation is to retrace their steps to decipher their intent and have allegiance to that intent. Exploration is never to assume you know based on another person's interpretation, but to interpret the essence in such a way that you get out of it what you need by using your perspective. What does that mean to me? How does it grant me new insight? How does it allow me to answer my questions? Exploration also entails the sharing of my interpretations with the intent that the next person will add whatever they can out of my interpretation. In a network, we are all built on each other to find ever better solutions. Whereas exploitation means a relative standstill, as there's an attempt to make the same thing fit changing circumstances, which would be better served when a new perspective would be assumed. Explore whenever possible, also known as think. Make a habit out of thinking. Let's turn thinking into movement. Like, comment, share, and follow lest you miss a single opportunity to improve yourself and society. Once you do, we'll meet again at the coffee pot.